It's time for Fire and Water and Space Pirate Frigate. If I was judging this as a regular area, I'd say it's lacking, but it's actually pretty solid for a tutorial stage, clearly inspired by the beginning of Super Metroid, even having Ridley show up. Linearity is always a complaint of mine, and it's especially weird here in a series known for exploration, but I actually don't mind it here since it's just orientating you. Having the space pirates be initially heavily impacted by the events and then only having healthy ones show up later is actually a clever way of building up the difficulty. The Parasite Queen boss isn't the most difficult, but it requires some thought to position through the barrier and rewards using your scan visor by identifying a better weak point. Between that, having the only proper time to escape, and giving an explanation for her lacking equipment, I'd say it's a pretty good opening for the rest of the game. It's time to make a great big crash and impact crater. Now this one is technically mostly a boss fight, but I have to give it props for the pretty awesome looking aesthetics it's got going on throughout the initial parts. Instead of just being some dull-looking crater, it's like you're inside a living being with teeth, tissue, and even what looks like blood cells behind membranes, maybe a precursor to Prime 3's Leviathan seeds. Metroid Prime itself is a pretty good marathon fight of element swapping, ending with flooding it with Prime's version of Super's Hyper Beam, but with blue Phazon. The only slightly annoying thing is the fission Metroids in the main area, since unless you want to waste power bombs, you have to sit there element attacking the split Metroids or try to dodge them. Still, it's a pleasing enough area, and you can definitely do a lot worse for purely boss areas, as I've shown with previous game maps I've ranked on this channel. It's time to let our passion burn bright in Magmoor Caverns. This one can best be described as a hub. Basically, you're in between of the various areas if you want a quick, convenient way to get around them. This does mean, though, that this area is slightly more linear than most of the others, but still has a good few puzzles, and hey, you get the plasma beam here, which is a really good beam. Also weirdly has one of the more obscure Chozo artifacts in the game hidden inside a rock pillar that you'd only know it was there with enhanced vision. Spinning plates and then raising the roof, literally, was pretty fun, even if the subsequent morph ball section was pretty annoying, and if you happen to not have a power bomb, gotta do it over again. Overall, not one of the more memorable areas, and the puffer gas and flamethrowers can make it annoying, but not too bad, and the Space Pirate setup gives it some uniqueness. It's time for performance-enhancing radiation in Phazon Mines. This may sound salty, but that initial section takes way too long to find a save room once you get started past the first room of it. It's not even just that the encounters are tough brawls after another, but you've got two different mini-bosses and several puzzles in there, so it feels like a slog should you happen to die. Now thankfully, after getting the power bomb and having an actual save room, it gets a lot better in terms of not being such a slog between sections. The Omega Pirate is a pretty satisfying boss, especially when you learn that you can basically destroy all the sections at once by dropping a power bomb at the big boy's feet. It's a pretty good map overall, I just wish the initial section maybe had one single save room between the entrance and the power bomb. It's pretty infamous for that reason. It's time to get the artifacts and summon the dragon in Tallon Overworld. This is technically the second area you see, but like main deck on Fusion, you return enough times that I figure now is a good spot for it as the last and most significant time you're there. If there's one thing this area is, it's gorgeous, especially the Switch Remastered, which can really flex with the natural foliage underneath a beautiful rain shower with bodies of water. One section is even underwater, funnily enough the Space Pirate Frigate, so it's largely the same map design, but with twists on it. I should probably mention it's only the map that you fight Ridley with after the slightly unfortunate artifact hunt, but it's not a big deal, and the Ridley fight is definitely a tough and engaging one. The map may not have as many exciting moments apart from that, but it has some intrigue here and there, including giving you the awesome and slightly creepy X-ray visor. It's time to cleanse the poison in Chozo Ruins. This is the first real area of the game, getting back almost all of your equipment while dealing with the local insect population, something Samus specializes in to depoison the water. It also introduces the Chozo Ghost, implying that the poisons in Tallon are so bad that they somehow even hit the soul. Talk about a really unfortunate fate. It has a good set of puzzles, especially on repeat visits, my favorite probably being the timed one with the drained water. In some ways, the oversized praying mantis is one of the trickiest enemies in the game, since it can just smack back the solar panels and get in the way of your progress, so you have to missile smack it to show it its place. Overall, really good early game area that's mostly about restoring Samus' stuff she lost, but then later delves deeper into the tragedy of the Chozos on Tallon. It's a satisfying area for sure. It's time to get frozen to the bone in Phendrana Drifts. Now this is a good one. It's basically halfway frozen tundra and halfway space pirate base that they seemed to deliberately pick because it keeps the Metroids nice and weak. Ending the initial pirate base section with a cool thermal visor like you're the Predator and then going lights out and having to fight your way back is a pretty great horror-esque sequence. Having a boss just constructed of rocks like the Phazon is somehow puppeteering rocks was actually pretty cool, even if a part of the boss is waiting for him to stop rolling around. Even getting one of the artifacts is pretty friggin' cool, involving using a super missile on a tower to send it crashing down so you can claim your prize. Add in an underwater sequence to get the gravity suit that's so satisfying to be able to move around more easily in, and this is a pretty great area to say the very least. It's time for a Galactic Federation performance overview. In case it wasn't obvious, I absolutely love Metroid Prime, and Metroid in general is overall my favorite game franchise of all time. The remastered version especially was like a breath of fresh air since it had all the improvements from the trilogy version and added to it some absolutely gorgeous graphics. Having free look in addition to the lock-on actually makes fights feel really satisfying in my opinion, especially pulling off those side hops to avoid the whole taking damage thing. The only slight blemish was the artifact hunt at the end, but the game is good about hinting where they are, and if you know about them ahead of time, you can get some of them on the way. I absolutely recommend Metroid Prime to anyone who hasn't already played it, preferably the remastered if you have access to a Nintendo Switch, but the trilogy is also a very solid option.